Yep.
Okay, welcome to Team Call. Today is June 21st, the first day of summer, and we have something so exciting for the first day of summer. We have my friend Kelly Richardson. She is here to talk to us about some summer ways to get productivity done in the summer, because I know it's a hard time. It's a crazy time for a lot of us, balancing kids and camp and summer still in school and sports and all of that. And Kelly, I was just telling everybody earlier, I met Kelly through one of Josh Coach's groups. We worked in together and we were in a little pod, and it was so great to get to know her. Her work ethic is just unbelievable. Every time I open my Instagram, I swear she's got a new reel up. You should follow her. She's always got something going on. She is a 2-star diamond. She has a 1-star in her second CBC and a 1-star in her husband's business center. She's 98 months in Success Club, and she's just a badass. So I'm sure she's going to share lots of little nuggets to take away. So get your notebooks and let's welcome Kelly.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. I love being here. I love you, Melissa. I love our little group. Like you said, it was just amazing. And I love seeing all these faces on here tonight. This is amazing. You guys are amazing. I hope that you guys are work well together and use this, your group, your coaching group, your team to bounce ideas off each other, but also to branch out and meet new coaches and talk to other coaches and use the, whether you are working with someone like we had Josh as our coach, but also the threads from Beachbody. Like I know, I'm sure everybody in here is part of something with Beachbody. I know they do a great job of developing those groups, because that's where you meet so many other coaches and bounce ideas off of each other. I always recommend kind of finding those other coaches to work with and bounce ideas off that, maybe they're one's really, really good at something that you're not, and your strength is somewhere else. And then you guys can collab and do awesome things together. So yes, I love you, Melissa. You're amazing. But yeah, I've been a coach, guys, now for, it's been over 8 years. It's crazy. I had no intention of coaching ever. I didn't even understand, I didn't even know that Shakeology and Beachbody were the same company. I had no idea. I wanted nothing to do with the fitness. I just wanted Shakeology. That's all I wanted. I had already started my clean eating journey, a couple of years prior. I lived on that diet roller coaster for, I'm not kidding, 2 decades, since elementary school. I was someone that grew up in a household where we were always on a diet. You name it, I tried it. I've done them all. So I'm a product of that, which means I always rode that roller coaster. My weight was always up and down constantly. I could never stick to anything. But yeah, I never ate real food. I never drank water. I lived on diet soda. And one thing way before Beachbody that really shifted my mindset towards more nutrition, eating clean, was I read an article one day about what artificial sweeteners do to your body. And I was floored. I just couldn't believe it. And one of the things that I read about was how it actually can make you gain weight. I was like, oh my God. But also, of course, all the other damaging things that it can do. And I started to just research it more and more. I cut out the Diet Coke that very moment I read that article. I was actually drinking a can. I never drank coffee. I always just drank my cans of Diet Coke, probably 12 a day. I took that can, I dumped it in the sink, never touched it again. And I started to become more aware of ingredients and just more aware of nutrients and what my body really needs. And while my body was detoxing off of the artificial stuff, I lost 5 pounds right away. And those of you who've done gut protocol maybe are seeing this, or you maybe have clients that are finally realized, let me cut out this, artificial sweeteners, see how it goes. Well, my brain fog like clear. I didn't even realize it was there, but I'm like, oh my God, like I can, like, I didn't realize I could feel this good. And oh, by the way, yeah, now the scale's finally moving. So that's what kind of prompted me to kind of get into, understanding what eating cleaner was all about. And my coach approached me a few years later and, talking about this shake that she wanted me to try. And I was like, nope, not doing it. I've seen those shakes. They're just, some diet fad trying to get, I'm like, I'm done with those diets. I'm done with those shakes. Cause every shake that I ever saw had artificial sweeteners in them or soy or junk. I'm like, I don't do that anymore. So she's like, no, Kelly, really, I really think you're going to like this. I'd love to hear your input. And I was like, okay, let me take a look. And I'm like, I don't want you to send me anything because it's just from your company. I don't want, I was like that. Yeah, I was that person. So I did my own research, my own due diligence. I looked at all the ingredients. I was like, this looks really good. And I'm like, actually it has all those things that I've been like trying to buy on Amazon and Whole Foods and spending a fortune. And then some I never heard of that I looked up. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I had to try it. And at the time, I'm a mom of three. At the time, my youngest was one, my oldest was 4, no, 6. And wait, I don't know. I can't even think right now. Anyway, they were little, all right. And I was like so drained, just these 3 little ones running around. I was just like, oh my God, oh my God. And when she told me, she's like, Kelly, this will make you feel so much better. Like your energy will go through the roof, your cravings will go away. So I'm like, all right. And so I gave it a try. And oh my God, after like it took me about a week and my energy was just, I didn't know I could feel that good. I never felt that good in my life. And no, not surprised because I literally dieted my whole life. So of course I was drained. Finally giving my body those nutrients, I was hooked. I mean, I felt like I could do anything. And at that point, I wanted nothing to do with the fitness. It had come with 21-day fix. It literally, I think I bought one of the first challenge packs because it was, she's like, oh, just get the challenge pack. She signed me up as a coach so I could save on my shakes. And but I took the DVDs because we didn't have bod back then, took the DVDs, shoved them in the drawer. I'm like, no, Erin, I don't work out. I don't, because I used to tell myself, I literally, those self-limiting beliefs, I believed them because I thought that it meant running or it meant going to the gym, which were 2 things I was never going to do because I never stuck with it. I'm like, I just want my shake. That's it. Even the containers, I'm like, here, Jack, you can go play with these. He did. He would like play with them as like blocks. So just I kept plugging away. I felt amazing. And then she invited me to a challenge group. And I was like, no, I'm okay. I'm just going to keep drinking my shake. She's like, well, I'm just going to throw you in there. I'd love to hear what you think. She had her little ways of doing these little things. And I did. I went in and I was watching and I saw it was other moms just like me. Not some of them never worked out a day in their life. Some of them were getting back into it, but they all, were crazy busy with kids running around. They were pressing play, pressing pause, to change a diaper, getting back to it. They were sore. They didn't want to do it, but they did it anyway. I'm like, all right, if they can do it, I can do it. And I started a few days later and I just got hooked on the community. I got hooked on those workouts, surprised myself. I was like, oh my God, I just took one day at a time. And after that, I mean, after one round, I think I lost like, it was either 1 or 2 rounds. I don't remember. It was so long ago, but I lost like a whole pant size. And I just remember I tried on my skinny jeans that I saved for like years and years and years, and I could actually put them on. And I was like, oh my God. And people just naturally started asking me like what I was doing. And I reached out to my coach. I'm like, so yeah, like people are asking me like what I'm doing. And so I jumped into that Coach Basics and the rest is history. From the first month I became a coach, she just told me, I'm like, just tell me like, what's the goal? Like, what should I be doing? She's like, just try to hit Success Club every month. And so that first month I hit Success Club and that's that was my, like, my lid, like my minimum. I'm like, I have to hit Success Club every single month. And I have. And it actually wasn't until I met Josh where he really kind of pushed me on my comfort zone to really just keep pushing and keep going. And that's when I started to hit the big numbers. But it's just consistency and just like having a, you know, a goal in my head and a minimum for myself. But I keep it super simple. Like I do the same thing every single day. Um, I just keep doing all the things, but I don't overcomplicate it. I think that's what a lot of things happen, especially in the summertime. I want to kind of dive into. I told Melissa I'd talk about some simple productivity hacks. Um, I talked about this a little bit on my social media the last couple of weeks, but just a couple of simple things. I know it's summertime. Melissa, you were just saying, like it sounds like we're in a transition together right now with the kids coming home from school, which always just, whenever there's a season change, whenever, the schedule's changing. I was just talking with one of my clients too, and she was telling me, she just got a new job. So her schedule's changing and all this stuff is changing. Whenever something like this happens, it's timed. And I said this to her too. I'm like, okay, let's just take a deep breath and just refocus, give yourself some time and really just focus on the basics. Like this is when you just go back to basics. And that's what I'm always in. And even at this time, like, okay, we still don't even know what our kids' schedules are going to be like. I was just telling this to my husband because every Sunday we always sit down and we take a look at our schedule for the week ahead and we get all of the non-negotiables on there, like meaning the kids' games, like all theirs going on the schedule. We got his appointments. He is big into golf. My husband is just so crazy obsessed with golf. So this time of year, I'm always like, all right, honey, make sure you get all of your tournaments and all of your matches and everything on there. So I know what nights I'm going to be single mom running around with all the kids. So then that way I have them all on there. And then what I do is I think it's in the kitchen, but you guys know at Target, right? Like they have like the weekly calendars, they have monthly calendars. I like the weekly ones that come on a pad, right? They come on a pad. And every week, what I do after I have our big family calendar, I sit down and then that's when I can see, okay, here's all the appointments, here's all the games, here's everything. Where am I going to schedule in my blocks of time for my business hours? Okay. And this was something that was, guys, this took me years and years to kind of get into the habit of doing, but it's definitely something that I do this time of year. Like I said, I do this every week, but this time of year, especially, actually what my husband and I finally did, we've never done this before. It's really cool. We went on to Amazon and they actually sell calendars that have like 4 months at a time, just so we can get our entire summer. I'm a very visual person. So just kind of blocking out, we have a vacation coming up. We have 4th of July where we have like 16 things going on. We have a couple of concerts that we're going to. We have, like I said, games with the kids and tournaments and stuff. So kind of learning to place stuff on the calendars really helped me figure out, okay, like what is my summer going to look like? Like what does July look like? Because I always have a monthly group that I invite to. It's my all-in, I call it like my all-in group. That's my group that I do require my clients to either have a subscription of Shakeology or a performance stack, or now the what's it called? Go and Glow, whatever that one is. I always try to encourage them to Shakeology because I'm like, you guys probably, realize like that's my thing. Like Shakeology is my thing. Like it changed my whole life. So they have to be on that subscription to stay in the group. And I go all in with nutrition. That's my jam. That's my thing. They can pick whatever fitness program they want to follow or not at all. I actually had a lady today say, she goes, oh, I can't do your group. I sprained my knee. I go, well, this group is going to be perfect for you because I'm all about nutrition. So like, let's go. Like, let's clean up that nutrition. Let's get you healthy. Let's get you feeling good, so that when you are ready to move your body, you're like really ready. Like, let's go and do this. So every month I run that. I do like a little prep in the last week of every month, and then we're all in. So by getting all my stuff on the calendar, I can really just kind of figure out, okay, because I like to do some lives in my group. So I schedule all of those and doing those things, but really just kind of breaking stuff down daily, weekly, monthly. And then even for the summer, is really big. And yeah, it's crazy. This is a big transition time. A lot of like, especially if you are a full-time coach or you're a stay-at-home mom and the kids are at home with you. Or maybe you did just get a new job and you're not even sure what's going on over in your job and then at home. Really just taking the time to sit down and just kind of get stuff on the calendar so you can visualize and see what your week's going to look like, then what your day's going to look like. If you are someone like me who gets really overwhelmed with even like knowing where to begin when it comes to like scheduling and planning, doing a time audit is really something that can be so helpful. And when I say a time audit, is committing to actually like getting down a piece of paper. You can get like a spreadsheet and put the times on the spreadsheet, like either break it down into half-hour increments or hour increments throughout the day, and literally just take an audit of what your like an average day is going to look like. I recommend doing it like on a weekday, and just like tomorrow, actually write down like, what am I doing, like every single thing, including like when you're scrolling social media, when you're driving the kids somewhere, when you're making your dinner, when you're doing anything, just to kind of get an idea of what your days look like, but also being honest with yourself too, and realizing, hey, okay, I was scrolling social media yesterday, for 45 minutes, and I didn't realize it. All right, just to kind of, like I said, get honest with yourself and kind of really see, maybe I can make some adjustments here with my time, or hey, do I really like, should I really be trying to get up a half an hour earlier to get this stuff done? Whenever I challenge one of my coaches to do this, they always realize, hey, you know what? I don't really need to do that. I don't need to, wake up earlier. I can just move a few other things around in my day or just be more intentional with the time that I do have to get those things done. And also too, doing this with your business hours too, just to kind of see, hey, what am I really doing? Okay, I'm going to sit down right now and I'm going to work, but what am I really doing? Like, are you doing those most important things that are moving your business forward? Okay. When Melissa said, Kelly's always like, doing the things, I'm not going crazy with like, I don't do ads. I don't do that stuff. Like, I'm inviting every single day. I'm following up every single day. I'm striking up new conversations every single day. And I'm on social media every single day. I call it like the daily forwards. That's what I said to my coaches. I'm like, just doing those things every single day will seriously keep your business moving forward. All right. So it's those four things that it doesn't take much. It's that power hour stuff, and it doesn't have to be an hour. I have a coach on my team. She works two jobs, and so she literally breaks it down into like little 20-minute segments throughout her day. And there are different times her day's like crazy busy, but she just makes it happen. She just does the things, and by doing the things, figuring out what works and what doesn't work over time, she's really kind of really got it down cold now. It's kind of like when you start to meal plan and prep, right? Which is something that I was terrible at for so long. I always talk to my clients about this because they're like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know where to start. I'm like, girl, I get you, but you just got to dive in. You got to do it. And you got to know that it's going to be hard. It's going to take time. But the more you do it, the more you're going to learn about yourself, the more you're going to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And then the quicker you'll actually get to figuring out what routine works best for you. Okay. What works best for me might not work for Melissa. It might not work for Leah. All right. But it's whatever works for me and for you. All right. So keep those blinders on. All right. One big thing too, that I can really tell you is really just also communicating with your family. and really just kind of telling them, hey, this is what I got going on this week with work. This is what I would love. This is what I really want to accomplish this week. This is what I want to accomplish this summer. Like, what is your goal for the summer with your business? What is your goal for this month? What is your goal this week? And talk to your family about it. Talk to your husband or your wife about it. And or your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever your significant other is, and say, hey, you know what? um i I have a call on this day. Like tonight, I said to my husband, I go, honey, I have a call tonight at 8:30. I'm doing for my friend Melissa. I'm really excited about doing this. If for some reason I need to leave the baseball field a couple minutes early, can you please, and he's like, yeah, I'll do my best. I will definitely, we'll figure this out. All right. But by communicating with your family ahead of time, you'll get more support. You'll feel better because you won't feel as guilty. That's been a big thing I've been hearing from some of my coaches, is that they are feeling guilty, that they're not spending the more time with their family. It's summer, they're not doing the things. Well, schedule in those things along with scheduling in those your business hours. Don't forget to schedule in the family times. Like, so yesterday, me and my husband, well, I dragged my husband, my poor husband. I actually have like an art background. So I love art. I love art history. And we put on the schedule to schedule in our family time. And we took the kids, they had the Van Gogh experience down in Providence. It was amazing. If you guys haven't seen it, it was really awesome. I mean, even my husband was like, he hates art. Like he hates going to museums. He hates it all. But he's like, yeah, Kelly, that was actually pretty good. And we had the best day together. It was actually only an hour long, and it was really amazing. But it was something that I wanted to make sure that I put in my schedule, because being intentional with the time that I do have with my family this summer is super important to me, making those memories. And it just makes me feel really fulfilled. Okay. So making sure that you're really thinking about those things as well. All right. Because that's what's going to light your fire. That's what really drives me to want to do more for my family. All right. So that I can be present in both. And you can. It's just a matter of being intentional. Also, too, one thing that I actually learned, Melissa, I did the inner circle with Josh the last 6 months. And one of the things that I learned from Julie Voris, if you guys don't know her, she's like an amazing like top coach. Like she's just awesome. But she, on one of her calls, she talked about actually having like a CEO day. And it's been the most incredible thing for me. I love it. It's I usually do it on Mondays because I don't have any calls. She's like, do it on a day where you don't have any calls, you don't really have any meetings or anything like that. You don't have to be like in 100 different places. It's just a day where you just kind of sit down, not necessarily to plan. Like Sunday is like my planning day, but it's a day where you actually kind of like sit down, you think about your goals, you think about where you want to go. It's kind of like a creative day. And it's been absolutely amazing. It's kind of like when I get to go and I just kind of, like I said, you think about your goals. What do you want to do? Take the time to maybe actually like do something creative with your business that you don't get to do on those, on the every other day where you're doing your daily fours or your power hour, right? If that's all you have time, make sure you're scheduling in time to be creative, to do some of the things like I have a couple of course stuff that like I want to dive into, some videos I want to watch. But like actually having time to do those, to have that creative time has been really fun. So if you can schedule that in once a week, great, or maybe every other week, it's really fun to just kind of do that. What else? Eat That Frog. I don't know if anybody's ever read that book. It's a great book. I love that book. Those of you who are kind of, yes, right, Brooke. I love it. I love it. Such a great book. It's one of my first books I read as a coach. But it is so important. My kids actually know this phrase. I say it to them so many times, and now they say it to me sometimes. But what it's all about really is doing that one thing that you hate doing in your business or you're scared to do, like inviting to coaching, which is like my thing still 8 years in. And I'm just like, oh, I gotta go back to coaching. Do it first. Do it first. This is why I have to work out first, because still 8 years later, I still hate working out. Like I have to like take my Energize and just go, because it's like, if I don't, it won't happen. It just won't. That's me. I'm not someone that'll just do it later. I won't do it in the afternoon because I let all the excuses go in my head. So I know myself now. So I'm like, nope, got to do it first. So I work out first. And then in my business, I do all my inviting first. So if there's something in your business that one of those daily fours is going to be one of those, do it first. Okay. So eat that frog, get it done. Another awesome thing when it comes to productivity, getting stuff done, doing all those things is setting a timer for yourself. It really just kind of, for me, when I set a timer, I'm like, okay, I got 20 minutes. I got to do this. Go. And I shut off all my notifications. I tell my kids, I communicate with my kids now, like I did it today. I'm like, all right, guys, I have a call. So I need you to figure out what you're going to be doing between this time and this time, because I need to get this done. And then after that, we can go and do whatever, right? So having a timer set has been something that's really, really helpful. I know my coaches, they do that now and they're like, oh my God, it's so awesome. I have an awesome, like, I forget what it's called. There's timer apps on your phone, but definitely do that. And one last thing too, I just kind of want to, something that's really helped me, people like, how are you still doing this? Like 8 years later, like you're still doing the things, and this is something I heard at Summit years and years ago. I forget which one it was, and I forget who said it, which coach said it, but it was kind of funny because when she said it, we're all like, I just remember all looking at each other. Melissa, maybe you were there. But one of the coaches was talking about this, and she said, I just took divorce off the table. And we're all like, at first, what? Are you getting a divorce? Are you trying to tell us something? Like, she's like, no, I'm serious. When it comes to your business, take divorce off the table, meaning take quitting off the table. Okay. Think about that. And this is something that I never realized I had already done, but it is something that I done. And early on, I'm like, I love this. There's so much, I love what this does. I love what it's doing for my family. I love what it's doing for me. I love truly helping people achieve their goals. And I love it all so much. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it can be a roller coaster, but I'm not going to I'm not stopping. Like, I love this. I'm taking this divorce off the table, because when you have one foot in and you have one foot out, when it gets hard, it is so easy to just let go of that foot that's in and say, oh, well, you know what? This happened. So I guess it's just not meant to be. Oh, well, you're like, no. That's when you lean in, and that's when you really dig deeper and figure out what this is meant to teach you, so that you can get stronger, you can get better, and then you can teach somebody else how to push through that when they go through it. But by taking divorce off the table, you're always going to just naturally want to figure it out. Okay. Yeah, that was a big one for me, because when I did that and I got out of that mentality, like, oh, well, no. Because whenever it got hard, I'm just like, all right, well, I'm going to lean in. This is going to teach me something. And I'm going to tell you right now, the last 2 years have been hard for me, to be honest. Like, just because just going through some personal stuff, I've definitely like, oh my God, like, ugh, but it's like, no, I'm not going to quit. No, I would never. Like, it's not something like that, but it's been hard. It is hard. And we all have, I'm sure Melissa's had those moments where it's like, oh, this is really hard, but no, you figure it out, you lean in and just tell yourself, right, choose your heart. Exactly. And just tell yourself, this is meant to teach me something, and it's going to be hard. I'm going to figure it out. Everything is figure outable. If you haven't read that book yet, it's another great book. Everything is figure outable. And I love what she said. She's always, one thing she said, everything really truly is figure outable. And if it's not, then it's not really a problem, and just move on, because it is figure outable. So take divorce off the table right now, each and every one of you. All right. Beware. Don't say that. Like, if your husband says something, just like, that's just something Kelly Richardson said. That's not what, it's for my business. I'm taking that off the table. Not us, honey. Sorry. Don't worry. Yeah.
Well, can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Yeah.
When I met Kelly in the group that we were in under Josh Coates, one of the game changers for me was being at this level of coaches that they didn't talk about quitting. They didn't talk about taking their foot off the gas. No one, yeah, sure, there'd be like a, oh my God, like, can you believe this is happening type of thing. But there was no negativity. It was just like, let's push through this and we're going to succeed and help all the people. And so I guess my point is be around the people that are doing those things, because that helped me so much to know that I have to put my energy into the people that are, no matter what, I'm making this happen. I'm not choosing divorce. I'm not taking a step back. I don't care what's happening. I'm going to do my tracker no matter what, because my business depends on it. And my business is that important to never stop. And that's what I miss so much. I love that group because it was like, just a bunch of badass ladies, and Brian,
Exactly.
Brian.
And exactly though, but find your people, find your community. Like I know, like Melissa, we haven't chatted. It's been a few months, and she messaged me the other day. Kelly, can you speak on our? I'm like, absolutely. Like, I'd love to. Like, absolutely. Like, I can message her. We're there for each other, and that's what's the best thing about this community. It's like I've had jobs where I've loved people I work with, but it's nothing like this. Like, we rise together, we fall together, and we lift each other up together. It's just like, that's just what we do. And I don't even want to think about where I would be right now if I hadn't found this. I always remind myself of that too. It's like, oh my God, like, I am so grateful to my coach for challenging me in the beginning, because she could have easily said, to herself, oh, she's not gonna she's challenging me right now. Because I really did. And she could have easily said, oh, nope, I'm not gonna even go there with her. But no, she said, no, Kel, I would really love to hear what you think about this. I know you're into, clean eating now. And I know that, I really think this is going to help you. Can you just, I'd love to hear what you think. Just take a look. I am so freaking grateful that she didn't give up on me. And I want to be that for as many people as I can. I just had a message this morning from oh my God, this beautiful mom of 3. She's younger than I am. I think her baby just turned 1, and she's struggled. She's always struggled, and she's down 60 pounds. And she just got back from the doctor saying that she can now be off of all of her high blood pressure medication. And I was like, I just told my husband, like, as I'm like walking in, he's like, Kelly. I'm like, no, that's like amazing. And I'm like, I gotta get on the call now. I'm like, it's like, this is amazing. That's what we do. Like, this is the most incredible thing in the world, right? It's like, oh, so I'm like, yeah, here to stay.
I love that. I would love to hear what you think about this, because it puts like almost the expertise back in that person that feels like they know all the answers already, and says, okay, like, try this and let me know what you think about this. This isn't, I know this is the best thing ever, you need to have it. I'm curious to know what your opinion is.
Yeah.
Which is sort of what we do when we send like a workout sample, right? We say, hey, let me know what you think about this workout. It's the same idea.
Yeah, exactly. Just challenging them. Like, I'd love to hear what you think. Or I always say, I'm like, oh my God, I would absolutely love to work with you. I think you would love our community. You would fit in so well. I just want to work with you. I think you're amazing. People love hearing that stuff, and it's true. And then when you do get those no's, sometimes I'll look, I'm like, did I really want to work with this person? Probably not. So moving on, there's plenty of people out there I can help. So, but yeah, just
that's awesome, Kelly. Who has questions for Kelly? I have about 1,000.
Ask away.
Okay, so let me just check the chat, and
Oh yeah, I
see if
saw that.
anybody has. Oh yeah, you are the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So I love the CEO day. And one thing I thought would be awesome to add into the CEO day is like, that's your time to do a gut check too. Like, what
Yeah.
have your activities been the previous week and what do you need to add in? I know, like you said, the coaching invite, that's something that, sometimes you feel like you're doing it. And then if
Yeah.
you really say to yourself, like, how many of those have I sent? It's not a lot for me sometimes. And I have to
Yep.
say, okay, that has to be something that I have to add in this week. So,
Uh-huh.
that's what a CEO does. They do gut checks on themselves. Am I enjoying the program that I'm doing? Am I sending the invites? Am I checking off my tracker? Am I,
Yeah.
eating on a nutrition program? Am
Right.
I sharing this on social media?
Yeah.
Um,
I love that.
so, okay, I want to know about you were talking about subscriptions and how you require a subscription for your challenge groups.
Yes.
I want to know all about this. Like,
Okay.
where do you do your groups? Like everything.
Okay. So yeah, I have something. I always tell all of my ladies, all of my clients, I'm like, I have something for everybody because I know the power of community. So I have my bod group. That's my fit club. Like that's for all of my bod ladies. So everybody gets in there. They can log their workout. I just do a daily post in there every single day. Actually, my assistant does it because I forget sometimes. Delegate. If you guys can delegate, that's another big productivity hack. Anyway, so yeah, so she does that, but that's for my bod ladies. So anybody and everybody is in there. And they see me every day in there. So that's why I say, like, you see me every day in there. And then yes, for my Shakeology ladies or so my PCs are my coaches, as long as they're active, they can be in my I call it like my all-in focus group, whatever it is that month. And I run that in Facebook because I love going live. My clients, they feed off of my energy, but also to like once a month, I always do like a grocery haul live in there. So I'll do like go through my groceries with them. I talk about planning ahead and I talk about, I keep it super simple. I hate cooking, all of that stuff. So I do all that. And then I only post in there once a day, but I'm in there. And like I said, I go live in there. I share, they get a weekly meal plan from me and Erin Mayer. You know Erin Mayer, Melissa, I think. Yeah. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. So she's on my big team. Like we're not on the same, but like we have the same grandfather coach. So she and I've been running the group together. So on Thursday nights, we have a live VIP call for our clients where we do like a quick training, like 10-15 minute training. And then we open it up for like a live Q&A with them. So like they get a lot. And these are just my Shakeology people. And that's, like I said, that's in Facebook. I did start to
Do you start a new one every month?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. This summer I decided to do one long one. I'm calling it like my summer squad and I'm opening it up next week. I'm doing like a super long prep. So like a little bit of prep before the 4th of July, 4th of July weekend, because you know how crazy that can be. I know mine's crazy. And then after, we're going to do a 3-day refresh and then we're going to go all in after that on the 11th together. So, I'm really excited about that one because a lot of people, it's focused on just, hey, we aren't just surviving this summer. Like we are going to rock this summer together. We're going to still have fun. We're still going to feel confident going to barbecues and the weddings and all that stuff. We're going to, do our best to stay focused. We're not going to go, because for me, what I've seen when people restrict and they get into that mode of like, oh, I have to lose the weight. I have to, it's like, no, you can still lose the weight, stick to your goals, and you can still have fun. So we're going to be focusing more on that. I'm going to be sharing like, my hacks for all that stuff in that group. And yeah, they, as long as they're active, they'll stay on. So I'm encouraging them to sign up as a PC or a coach, so that they can stay on through August, through Labor Day. So that'll be one big group. And then I have a free community in Facebook for like everybody else. So like everybody I talk to, I'm like, hey, you would love this community. There's so many busy moms in there. We talk everything from recipes to meal planning to just surviving motherhood, like that kind of stuff. So, like I said, I have something for everybody, but I give up, obviously most of my time and attention to the all-in group. And I'm super into, I love Portion Fix and To Be Mindset. I got certified in both. So like I really like help my clients dive in to their nutrition in that group. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
So what, like, okay, so let's say someone goes inactive in the middle of that group. Do you remove them?
They stay in for the month. Like they'll stay in the group and then
Okay.
I'll remove them. I also have like a thread now. I've started doing threads with with my people, just if they, if they have a quick question or they, that way people chime in or I chime in. They just like that
Yeah.
added accountability, which is nice. But I'll remove them after for my
Okay.
sister.
And how many invites do you do per day?
It depends. Um, sometimes like not kidding, like 20 to 30, sometimes like 40, depending on
What you've got going on?
guys, if you don't have a system yet, I use Asana. I know there's Teamsy, there's Streak there. Yeah. I like Asana. I keep it super simple. So what I do is like, once I talk to somebody, I get them in there. They're like a task. That's what it's called in Asana. So from there, if they join my community, what I do is I usually run like a free group, a quick 5-day free group in my community. I just have my assistant schedule it out and I'll go live like in there once. So they can see me, feel my energies, and then if they're active in that, what I do is I'll invite them to my next group right away after that free group. Whether, whatever, if they say yes, then I have like a whole new, I go through my whole follow-up and everything. Or if they say no, what I'll do is I will send them like a freemium through my my like flow desk so I can get them on my email list. And then that way they still see everything that's going on. And then usually depending on how how the conversation went, I'll put a tag on them in Asana to invite them either 3 months later or 6 months later. That's typically my flow with people if they say no. And then I kind of go from there. But my assistant will go in and like right now she's going through my July tag. So depending on how many people are on that July tag, sometimes she'll give me a heads up. She's like, Kelly, you got a lot of people like you want to invite to July. So it's going to be like 40 invites a day. And I'm like, all right. And so many don't even respond, but you'd be surprised at how I can't even tell you. And I say this to my coaches all the time because like, oh, they're ghosting me or oh, they're not answering me. And I'm like, do you want to see all the messages all my ghosts? And then how many people said yes that ghosted me like the last 2 years? So consistency, follow up. It is everything is that follow up.
Yeah, that's amazing when you see that. And then or like someone will be like, thank you for not giving up on me. And I'm like, I can't believe I still didn't give up on you, but I haven't.
Well,
it's still here.
Oh yeah. There's so many times too, where I'm like, who is this person? And I'll go back and I'm like, oh my God, like they joined my free community 2 years ago. They did a free group once. And then they're like, oh my God, yes, I need this right now. Thank you for reaching out. I'm like, okay, let's talk.
And it's funny to see too, because like, I don't know if you guys have ever had this, but you'll be inviting someone, and then you see that they're doing something else. Like, I don't know, like another program entirely. And really the reason they're doing that is because somebody else's invite just got into their hands at the right time. So,
Yep.
You just got to keep doing it. You got to be persistent.
Oh yeah. Oh, and I have people like all the time. Oh no, I'm doing keto right now or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I'll put them on the 6 months because I know that they'll be they'll be off of that and they'll be doing,
Yeah.
like I said, I've done it all. I know what happens.
Yeah.
Like they'll be, yeah, never give up on people. Yeah.
Casey, they'll be with you eventually.
Yes.
Does anyone else have any other questions for Kelly? This was so good.
This was awesome.
I
So
also loved what you said. Oh, sorry. Go, Brooke. Go, Brooke. Sorry. I'll shut up.
I was just saying thank you. And I could use a whole training on how to use a system. And I could also use an assistant.
Yes. Oh my God. Getting an assistant.
In my life, in my business.
Even just getting like a house cleaner. I remember when I was able to get a house cleaner, that was huge. That was huge for, and what a big help too. Cause I'm the type of person too, like when I am like buffering and I'm like not wanting to work out, or like in the morning, I'll just start cleaning. And my husband's like, go work out, Kelly. Cause he even knows, he's like, go work out. You're avoiding it. You're avoiding it. Or I'm avoiding like sitting down and sending out the invites or doing this or doing that. So it's like anything you can do. Like my assistant sends, like I said, she sends out my invites now. So like sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I never would have invited that person, but thanks. Because they said yes, you know? So doing those things, yeah, anything you can delegate is huge.
Yeah. When I got a VA, that changed my whole life. I mean, it took me, before I got her, it took me probably 4 hours to write an email, and I would dread it. And
Yes.
then and I'm not good like that. Like I'm not good with those things like positioning, and it looked awful. It was terrible. And then I got her and I'm like, it takes you 20 minutes to do that beautiful email. And sure,
Right?
you know, like the
Yeah.
things that she whips up, and it's for such a nominal cost that
Yep. Oh yeah,
game
they
changer.
do. Yeah, handing off any of those things that don't need your stamp, like the invite. Like she just, Kelly, what's your invite this month? Okay, and then that's it. She just sends them all out and does all the follow up. Do your emails go over well? Respond. You know what? They're getting better, Leah. I've been trying to be more, I do my own emails. I use Flowdesk. Flowdesk it's like $20 a month after the free trial. And they're beautiful. That's what I use. I've been trying to be more intentional with like marketing and with my emails. And they've been going much better. So I've actually got a huge response the last week or so with my emails with this new summer squad. Actually, I just signed up a bunch of people for that already. And it's mainly from my emails, to be honest, this month. I actually had my assistant kind of shut down like the invites for a little while for like a couple of weeks. And I just did emails, and it worked really well, but it takes some time. But like I said, like once you're talking to people, like once I talk to somebody new, I get them into my community. And then what I do is I send them a freemium. And the last couple of months, it's been just, I have like a free spring clean. It's like a spring cleaning menu or meal plan or whatever. I'm like, here, I thought you'd like this. And I set them up, and I set them up right in Flowdesk, and they opt in, and then they see all of my emails. Yeah, it's awesome. But email is, if you start building your email list now, they always say you never know with social media, you know, and we really don't. It's kind of like, but people, I feel like a lot of like, I don't know, there's a lot of people are kind of hesitant when it comes to, I'm finding anyway, with the DMs, with the invites and stuff like that, more than ever. Like, because everything is direct sales now. And so a lot of people are just, like I said, I do get like a lot of ghosting, which is fine. I always have, but yeah, I feel like people are definitely more responsive now that with emails than ever. So keep
And
doing
email is like professional right? Like it's just professional.
Yeah.
You have a weekly email and you seem like a more credible
Yeah,
business.
I agree. Totally. Yeah. I need your.
Yeah.
So
You
she
would
writes
you
your,
would love it.
does she write your emails for like, what is she? Because mine doesn't, like
Writes my emails. Usually it's like a post from the week.
okay.
So she'll take a post that she liked or whatever. She picks a recipe.
Mhm.
And then usually whatever group I have going on or something, she'll share that.
Nice.
She's like, we've been working together for probably 2 years now, so she knows me pretty well. At
Yep.
first she would send like recipes and I'm like, no, I don't want to give that recipe. Like, so she knows me now and we work
Yeah.
really well together. But she sends me the email before she sends it out and then
Oh, nice.
but yeah.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah,
Especially if you don't like doing it, because that's everything.
Oh my God, I dread it. I would be like, Monday's coming. It's gonna take me so long to do this email. And I'm like, nobody should live their life like that, you know?
No.
There's eating that frog, and then there's like torturing yourself. Like,
Right. Then it comes to, all right, I'm not eating that frog, I'm just delegating that frog.
yes. If you can't eat the frog, delegate the frog.
Delegate it.
Outsource that frog.
Yes.
Oh my God, Casey, you're so funny.
Yes. Oh my God. I love it.
Oh my God. Well, thank you so much, Kelly. This was so awesome. We really, really appreciate it. It's always great hearing from you and hearing all of your tips because guys, seriously, go follow her. She's always got a funny reel going on and she's just on top of her shit all the time.
Oh, thank you. I love you, Melissa.
I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you guys all for coming and hopefully we'll get you back again.
Yes, anytime. And if you
And
ever in
we'll
Rhode
see
Island,
you in Summit.
I'm actually not going to be at Summit. I know Rob has his big work summit for his new at his new company, and he's like the manager and we have to be there. So it's like,
Oh no, that's so sad.
I know.